What's going on? So recently I had somebody comment and ask what are the quality of the J.C. Ryle volumes from Banner of Truth. And I figured I would answer that question, but I would do it in a broader perspective and turn it into what are the quality of Banner of Truth books proper. And so that's what we're going to be looking at today. I have a few different books here I'm going to show you. He specifically asked about the dust cover, about the binding. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So I'm using Holiness by J.C. Ryle as my Ryle example, and then I'll be diving into several other Banner of Truth books to show you what they're really like. So first, let's look at this dust cover. These dust covers are a glossy kind of paper. I don't know of any different kind of dust cover material. The inside is kind of just normal paper, and then the outside is that glossy, nice material there. Let me see if I can find something that would be similar. So here I have Martin Luther by Eric Metaxas, and this is put out by Viking. Let me take this dust cover off real quick. So these are raised lettering here, which is pretty cool. The lettering, it's gloss, the rest of it is not. The inside of this material is pretty similar to this. But this, overall, I feel like is more durable and is going to last longer with that nice gloss on there. This does not have the same gloss. We'll come back to this book in just a moment. Now, as far as the Ryle books go, the only complaint that I would have, and this goes, I guess, for any book, but specifically these Ryle volumes, and that it's this right here. So you have this gold titling and all of that, and it looks really great. But let me show you Old Paths by J.C. Ryle, and to give an example of what I'm talking about. You'll notice here, let's see if I can zoom in on that a little bit. As you hold the book, as you're reading it, your hand's going to rub that gold right off of the binding there. And so your choices are to basically destroy your dust cover while you're reading the book, or rub off the title of the book on as you're reading it. So it's sort of a lose-lose situation. But I basically just decided I'm going to keep my dust cover nice looking and keep the dust covers on the books and just rub off the gold as I read them. So that's my only complaint about these volumes, is that does rub off, and there's really nothing you can do about it. Now, one question might be, how long do those dust covers last? Now here I have, and I'm going to use this in a moment too, but that is a 1971, it's a second edition George Whitefield, Arnold Dollimore biography. This is the first volume. And the only thing about this book is that it's been in the sun too much, and it's kind of lost its original color. You can see the difference there. But that's it. I mean, that's the only wear I really see on this at all. The inside, you have a little bit of yellowing, and this is the same type of material. I think actually the newer covers might be a better quality than this. This feels kind of thin. It's not quite as waxy on the inside. But that's that, and then you'll see, again, a little bit of rubbing on that title, but it's still overall in really great shape. The binding is still together. It looks really great. Yeah, this book is a killer, but still in great shape, and I think they never really have changed their method of making books. So it's still, your books are still going to exist in 50 years, and this is still in great shape. I mean, the corners look okay. Everything about this book is basically like you bought it new. Only thing they've really changed is they used to gild the top of their books. They don't do that anymore, which is kind of sad, but we'll come back to this book in just a minute. Now, what about the quality of this, the cloth binding? Now, again, I can turn to that George Whitefield biography, but first I wanted to show you the different colors and styles that they offer. So here is some red. They also have blue, kind of an orangey shade, gray, black. They also have different shades of blue and different shades of black and gray. variations of those two colors, basically. But I'm not going to show you all of the different colors, but those are a few. All of them are basically the same material as far as I can tell, just by feeling it, just by using it. But some of them are a little bit different. I think this one, this is Princeton versus the New Divinity. That feels a little bit more like cloth than, say, this Spurgeon volume. I know that that is cloth, but this feels like cloth. You can really feel the stitching and everything. It feels really great. And then this is A Way to Pray. Sorry, and this also comes with a little ribbon in it. This is the only Banner of Truth book that I have had that has a ribbon in it. Really great stuff here. So the question is, how do the bindings hold up? And the book that I have been the hardest on is my Institutes. And let me show you this. I've actually dropped this book. I traveled all over the country with this book as I was reading through it. And the only thing that has happened to it is when I dropped it, you'll see there's a little bit of a little catch right there. I don't know if you can see that or not on the camera. You can see a little snag right there, just where I dropped it, where the paper is beginning to break off right there. But as far as the binding is concerned, there's a little bit of ripple that you can see. A ripple right there where I might have stabbed it or something with a pen or with my finger. So that kind of stuff, that's going to happen. You can see the same thing here with my Christian in Complete Armor. I think I hit that with my finger or maybe the corner of a book. But it's not going to fall apart because of that. That's just a slight side effect of using your books. So I think to answer the question, they're extremely durable. Here's another spot where I dropped it, and you can see I caught that right there. But even that's still holding in there because it's cloth and not paper. Because paper would just rip. If you had like just a regular hardback, like this Spurgeon here put out by Hendrickson, if I were to drop this, this is paper, and it would just rip. This took the fall and just kind of bent it a little bit. Nothing bad's going to happen from that. So, let me see. One more thing I want to throw in there is, here is... Oh, actually, I might have just realized something while I was shooting this. This is the Letters of Henry Venn. You can see that's a totally different shade from these. 3 different shades. But I think these materials here, this is back to Princeton versus the New Divinity, those feel roughly the same, but both of these are older volumes. This was published in 2001, and this was published in 1993. So I think maybe they did kind of change materials, but all of the newer stuff feels like this Arnold Dollimore volume here. So I don't know, maybe in between the two eras, there might have been a switch in materials, I don't know. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is their art on the title of the books. They have some absolutely beautiful type on their books. So let me see if I can line these up where you can see them all. Some of them, like these here, have just a border on them, and then the title and the author, and then Banner of Truth on the bottom. They all have Banner of Truth. Some of them have the logo, however. Others say Banner of Truth. Some of them might say Banner of Truth Trust. I don't have my John Owen volumes with me right now, but they say Truth Trust, and I'm pretty sure that's the London, the original, if you will, before they moved to America. Others are going to have more of an artsy-like look, like this one here that's colored black. Some of them are going to have a color black with the border, like these two, and others are going to have a border all the way around, like this Charles Spurgeon autobiography. And these are my favorite right here. That just looks fantastic. I love that so much. All of these volumes are Smith sewn. They are well made. They are built to last. That's why they cost a little bit more than the typical volume. And then the last thing I want to do here, I think this is the last thing, I'm going to show you 2 books that are roughly the same size. One that is in cloth binding, and the other that is in a semi-cloth bound and hardback kind of binding. This is the Martin Luther biography as well. Again, so here you see there's a line there. This goes into the cloth binding right there. But look at how that just wears, how that falls apart. That's probably from me sitting down the book on a shelf. Same thing on the top. You kind of see a little bit of wear there. I probably dropped it or just grabbed it with my hand wrong, and it just kind of wears it out right there. The other thing is, this book is not sewn well. The pages of this book at some point are bound, funny, I made a pun. They're bound to fall out at some point. Whereas this book, this is much more neat, I don't know, whatever I'm trying to say. This is way better done. And if you look closely at each of them, you can see here that you can see the individual, I forget what the word is, I'll put it in the video. I forget what it's called. They're called something, the folds basically, and each one of those folds is sewn together and connected to this binding. And see how tight that is? That's not going to go anywhere. I'm trying to bend this a little bit and it's not willing to do it. Now this one, you see a lot more movement there. It's way looser, and this material just isn't good. It's just going to fall apart, and the content of the book can be excellent, but if your goal is to have something to give to your children maybe, or to have as a reference book the rest of your life, these Banner of Truth volumes, they're built to do that. They're made to do that. Other stuff like this, they don't last. They're not going to last. Now, of course, Banner of Truth does also publish paperback volumes, but they're rare and they're understood to be not meant to last. Here's two more examples of their paperback. Those are obviously not on the same level as their hardcovers, and they're not supposed to be. You buy hardcovers, cloth-bound volumes, in order to have something that's going to last. Now there's one final thing that I want to show you, and that's good because I'm running out of time. I got a meeting here in a few minutes. The one last thing is, and this is new to their lineup, they haven't really done anything quite like that, and that is a leather-bound volume. This is also Smith sewn. The only difference is this is printed in China and everything else is printed in America. So it's a little bit lower quality on that front, and these pages are, they're very thin. It's meant to just sort of be a devotional, I think, but gilded, gold gilding on the pages. Got this very thick piece of paper here. That's what the paste down liner is connected to. This should also last a lifetime if you're into this kind of book. This also has raised hubs, or ribs, as some people would call them. Love those. I wish there was a way to have cloth-bound volumes have the hubs, but I guess you can't have everything. This is a genuine leather cover. Pretty nice stuff there. So I think that is all I have for you today. Hopefully that answered your question. If it did not, let me know. I will be happy to give you further information. But I think that's it. There's an overview of... I encourage anyone who's looking to buy books to buy ones that are going to last and not ones that will not last. The point of having books is that they cannot be taken from you, like some things on the internet someday, and these will probably be burned at some point. But at least during... there's an intermediate period where... they could take things off the internet, but they can't take these. So buy ones that are going to last, ones that you can give your children and your grandchildren. You won't regret it. These will last forever if you take care of them. This one probably has, this is the 50-year-old book right here. This probably has another 100 years in it maybe, if it's taken care of, like it has been and preserved. These all will be around long after I'm dead. But I think that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again very soon, Lord willing.